So we're just going to start by rooting down through the sit bones, lengthening through the spine, reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling, relaxing through the shoulders, and just starting to come into the space, arriving on the mat today, letting go of your day so far, letting go of your journey here. Whatever's brought you to the mat today, it's good intentions, and even if we just sit and breathe, that is, we're doing yoga. So let's do a little bit more than that, but we're going to congratulate ourselves for making it here today. So what we want to do now is focus entirely on the practice and on tuning into our minds, our bodies. And by tuning in, we want to listen and be in stillness. So we want to let go of any busy thoughts. Anything that you need to do for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, we're just going to let that go. Try and just allow those thoughts to leave the mind. Just allow them to dissolve, disappear, knowing you can come back to them at any time. And start to concentrate on the breath. So bringing our focus to one point here. Not changing the breath at the moment, we're just noticing how it feels today. And just noticing any movements, any sensations. Again, just training the mind to be still and focused. And now we want to start to deepen the breath. So bringing the breath all the way down into the belly with the inhale. And fully exhaling here. So we're going to start to lengthen the breath, slow the breath down and deepen the breath. So if you would like to sort of feel where the breath needs to go, you can place your hands on your belly. Inhale, pressing the hands away. And exhale, the hands draw back towards the spine. Inhale, pressing away. And exhaling fully. So taking a few breaths here in our yogic breath. Full belly breath. And letting the nervous system know that we're calm here by taking these deep breaths, by engaging the diaphragm, taking us out of our fight or flight mode and into a place of calm. You can bring your hands onto your knees if you had them on your belly, but just keep that deep breath going. Again, relaxing the shoulders, making sure they haven't tensed up here. And mentally noting to keep this breath throughout the practice. It is a practice and we do forget sometimes to keep that breath going, but whenever we come back to the attention, come back to the awareness, just remembering to breathe into the belly as we inhale and exhale through the nose. So as we move, I'll talk you through the inhales and the exhales, but yes, that's where the breath needs to go. And it also helps to strengthen the core when you're working the diaphragm. So it's helping to keep us strong as we hold positions and as we're moving. So lots of benefits. So now we're just going to wake up the body. So dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. We want to start to release any tension that we're holding in the body. So stretching through the left side of the neck, trying to keep the spine nice and straight so we're not tipping over to one side. And then we're going to exhale, roll the head down, chin towards the chest. Letting gravity do most of the work here. Releasing out through the back of the neck. And inhaling up to the left side, where we're going to pause and stretch out the right side of the neck. And then we're going to exhale, roll the head down, chin to chest. Noticing how the neck feels. Noting where you need to release some extra tension. Inhaling, rolling up to the right side, pausing here. And then exhale, rolling down, chin to chest. Tuning into the body. Inhaling up to the left side, pausing here. And exhale, last time to release through the back of the neck. Inhaling up to the right side. And coming back to center. And then we're just going to roll the shoulders, so releasing our tension here. This time we are bringing the shoulders up to the ears. And just noticing, again, any sort of trapped tension or energy in the shoulders that we can try to release before we start to move and hold our positions. And coming back to center and then rolling the shoulders forward this time again. Bringing those shoulders right up to the ears, exaggerating the circle. Easing out through the shoulder blades. And coming back to center. Bring the fingertips down to the mat. So we're going to inhale, float the fingertips overhead, drop the shoulders down the back, fingertips to touch overhead, gaze to the fingertips. And then we're going to exhale, bring the left hand on the outside of the right knee. Fingertips are gently resting on the floor behind. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist to lift over the right shoulder. So this is a gentle twist for our first twist, so we don't need to go too deep into this one, just a little gentle opening. Breathing here, and then inhale, float the fingertips overhead, look up to your fingertips, and then exhale, bring the right hand on the outside of the left knee this time, fingertips to touch the ground. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist gently, looking over your left shoulder. Breathing here, breathing into the belly. Keep that intention going. And then inhale, bring the fingertips to touch overhead. And exhale, float the fingertips down. Pressing the right hand into the ground and rooting through the left sit bone so that we're not collapsing to one side. We're going to inhale, reach the left arm alongside the ear. So stretch out of the waist, elongating through the side body. And then exhale, twist. And no, don't twist. Bend to the right. And then making sure the chest is open here. So we want to gaze to the ceiling and not round the back towards the ground. So breathing here. And then exhale, bring the left palm down, press gently into the left palm, rooting down through the right sit bone this time. Inhale the right arm alongside the ear, reaching high. Exhale, bending to the left, gaze is to the ceiling. So we're lifting and lengthening through the side body. Breathing here. And then exhale, bringing that right hand down. With an inhale, we're going to float the fingertips to touch overhead once more. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. And then exhale, cactus your arms open. Open through the chest and look up to the ceiling. Breathing here, core is engaged. Then inhale, bring the fingertips to touch overhead. And then exhale, float the fingertips down. And then just bring the fingertips in front of you. You want to walk the fingertips forward to wherever feels comfortable for you, just to get a gentle stretch across the lower back. And then when you find that stretch that feels nice, exhale, drop the head and breathe here. Just try and relax a bit further with each exhale. And inhale, coming up onto your fingertips. We're going to walk the fingertips over to the right side. So again, go as far as feels good for you to move that stretch onto the left outer hip. So when you find that little stretch there that feels nice, exhale, lower the head, drop the head. And inhaling up onto the fingertips, we're going to walk over to the left hand side. And again, find that stretch on the right outer hip. And then when you're there, exhale, drop the head, sink the head down. And deepen the stretch. And then an inhale, coming up back to your fingertips, walk to center, walk the fingertips into the body and come back to seated, roll the shoulders back. And then we're going to come into our tabletop position. So coming onto all fours on the mat, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, find your stable base here as we start to wake up the spine with our cat and cow. We're going to inhale, drop the belly, tailbone points up to the ceiling, look up to the ceiling. And then exhale, we're going to round the spine, press away from the yoga mat, so round the spine as much as you can here. You can press into the tops of the feet. Inhale, drop the belly, look up, tailbone points up. And even in this pose, we want to be pressing away from the yoga mat so we're not sinking into the shoulder joints. And then exhale to round the spine, stretching through the back of the body. And then inhale, drop the belly, looking up, stretching through the front of the body. And then exhale into your cat pose. And then coming back to a neutral spine here. We're going to come onto our forearms. So drop the forearms down and just clasp the hands together. And then we're just going to extend the right foot to the back of the mat. So if you need to adjust slightly, and we're just going to rock backwards and forwards. So stretching through the foot, sole of the foot, stretching through the calf muscle here. So just rocking backwards and forwards. And then bringing that knee back into your tabletop and extending through the left leg. Bringing that left foot to the back of the mat. And again, we're just going to rock backwards and forwards. Just easing out through the back of the leg. And then bringing your knee back into your tabletop. Just coming up onto your elbows. We're just going to give the wrists a figure of 8 here. So just to get rid of any cricks or cracks before we start moving. And again, just any movement in the wrists is good to strengthen. So just figure of 8s. And then bring the palms back down. We're going to bring the fingertips just outside of the mat. So cupping the hands into a kind of dome shape. So just strengthening the fingers here. So just leaning gently forward. We're going to exhale, just bring the elbows out to the side and just lower the body. So not a full press up, but we're just kind of lowering the body, putting gentle pressure into the hands, into the fingers, strengthening there. Exhale down, inhaling up. Exhale down, just elbows out to the side, as far down as feels good. And then one more, inhaling down, exhaling back up. And then bringing the hands back to center. Give your hands a little shake. Just shake it out. And then coming back to your tabletop, we're going to tuck the toes and lift up into our first downward facing dog. So as ever with our first dog, we want to walk the dog and create movement in this one. So we're going to pedal the feet. We're going to bend the knees. So any movements that feel good here, we've woken up the joints and the muscles mostly in the body, but anything that feels good in terms of movement before we start our flow, just do that. So listen to the body. Do you want to rock backwards and forwards? Bend the knees. So just keep that intuitive movement until you're ready to come back to stillness. And then making sure that your hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart. We're going to press the heels down towards the mat. Gently bend in the knees as much as you need. Press the tailbone high towards the ceiling, chest towards the thighs. Chest kind of drops through the shoulders. And then to protect your joints, we're going to press away from the yoga mat. So pressing, creating a little bit of space in the wrist joints, the shoulder joints, and then externally rotating the upper arms to create even more strength in the shoulder joints. And then with all that happening, your neck is nice and loose, and you're remembering to breathe. So coming to stillness in your down dog. And then with an inhale, we're going to look in between the hands and tiptoe to the top of the mat. So finding your way to the top of the mat and then folding here. Feet are still hip width apart. And we're in our ragdoll, so you want to grab hold of opposite elbows with opposite hands and allow the body to hang. So hanging here, again creating space in the spine here, with the head just dropping towards the ground. We're starting to wake up the hamstrings here, just starting to lengthen through the backs of the legs. And again, neck is nice and loose. Then with an exhale, we're going to drop the fingertips to the mat. With an inhale, we're going to draw a line with the fingertips all the way up the leg. Coming to standing, but as slowly as we can. We want to stack the vertebrae one at a time as we come all the way up to standing. And then we're in our Tadasana mountain pose, so making sure the feet are still hip width apart. We're going to engage the core, gently tuck the tailbone, Roll the shoulders away from the ears, palms are facing forward. Chin is gently tucked. And again, we're extending the crown of the head towards the ceiling. So we can feel that space being created in the body. Then with an inhale, we're going to reach up, lift the arms, lift the fingertips as high as you can so you can feel a lengthening through the side of the body. Then we're going to exhale, hinge forward from the hips, bending all the way forward in our Uttanasana forward fold. We're going to inhale, halfway lift. So roll the shoulders back. Exhale, plant the palms, step the right foot back, then the left foot into your plank pose. Drop the hips slightly and press away from the yoga mat to dome through the upper back. It's a theme for this. We're always pressing away from the yoga mat. But it is, we're creating space here and just making sure the shoulder joints aren't getting kind of compressed. So exhale, we're going to drop the knees, untuck the toes, and then drop the chest and chin all the way down to the mat, always making sure that the elbows are tight in towards the body. Press down through the tops of the feet, press down through the pubic bone. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, chest shines forward into your baby cobra. Breathing here. Elbows are still in tight to the body. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, press back through your child's pose. And inhaling up into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. So finding your correct alignment again. And then with an inhale, we're going to raise the right leg into a three-legged dog, keeping the hips level and square to the mat. And with an exhale, bring the knee through to the nose, dome the upper back again, press away from the yoga mat and step to the front. If it doesn't make it, give it a helping hand. Exhale, back knee comes down, untuck the toes, and inhaling up into your low lunge, Anjaneyasana. So breathing here, gently pressing into the front thigh. You've got a forward motion here, dropping the hips towards the mat. And then we're going to exhale, drop the left hand on the inside of the right foot, and inhale, reach up with the right arm. So we're reaching up rather than sinking down. The core is engaged here, and we're breathing in our easy twist. Breathing here. And then exhale, frame the front foot, pick up the back knee, and step back into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. Again, pressing that tailbone high up towards the ceiling, creating a deep V shape. And then with an inhale, we're going to raise the left leg into a three-legged dog. Exhale, knee through to the nose, stepping to the front of the mat. Exhale, back knee comes down, untucking the toes. Inhale, reaching up high into your low lunge. Breathing here. Pressing gently into that front thigh, but making sure the knee is still over the ankle. Whoop. So we're not pressing too far forward, or you just gently move that foot to be in line. Breathing here. And then we're going to exhale, drop the right foot, right hand inside the left foot and reaching up with the left arm. So reach up high, breathing here. Then exhale, framing the front foot, pick up the back knee and step back into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. With an inhale, we're going to ripple forward into our plank. Drop the hips slightly. Exhale, lower knees, chest and chin all the way down to the ground. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, chest shines forward into your baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, press back through your child's pose. And inhaling up into your downward facing dog. And breathing here.
Then with an inhale, we're going to raise the right leg into our three-legged dog. Exhale, knee through to the nose. Step to the front of the mat. So keeping the back heel lifted, we're going to inhale up into our high lunge. So press through the back heel to keep that back leg nice and strong. Breathing here, shoulders away from the ears. Then we're going to exhale, bring the hands to prayer at heart center and come to a prayer twist. So bringing the left elbow on the outside of the right knee and then twist to look over your right shoulder and try and bring the hands to prayer at the center of the chest. So you're twisting through your whole torso here and breathing here. If that feels really strong, you can bring the back knee down, but try and hold here, spiking through the back heel. And then inhale, we're going to raise the arms up into our high lunge. Exhale, framing the front foot and step back into your downward facing dog. And breathing here. With an inhale, we're going to raise the left leg into our three-legged dog. Keeping the hips level. Exhale, knee through to the nose, stepping to the front. So keeping that back heel lifted. Inhale, reaching up into your high lunge. Breathing here. Finding a stable base. Hips are facing the front of the mat. Exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. So we're going to do our prayer twist to the other side. Right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Looking over the left shoulder. Twisting from the torso. And breathing here. Again, you can bring the back knee down. Or just try and hold this pose. Breathing here. Then we're going to inhale, bring the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, framing the front foot. And step back into your downward facing dog. And breathing here. And then inhale, we're going to look in between the hands and walk the hands towards the feet. So come to your forward fold at the back of the mat this time. So just allowing yourself to fold here. And then with an inhale, we're going to sweep the arms all the way up to the ceiling in our Hasta Tadasana. And exhale, hands to prayer at heart center, Samasthiti. So now we're going to come sideways on the mat. So bring your legs out wide. And just turning the feet 45 degrees so they're facing the corners of the mat. And we're going to exhale, drop down into our goddess pose. So just sitting as far as is good for you here. So we're working the legs. And breathe here. And you want a nice straight spine. So crown of the head is reaching towards the ceiling. And you're almost leaning back against the wall here. Breathing here. And then we're just going to grab hold of the thighs here. So your fingers are forward, thumb is behind. And we're going to exhale, stay in our chair. And we're going to drop the right shoulder down and look over the left shoulder. So see if you can drop a little bit lower here. You want your knees over your ankles as much as possible. So you can use your hands here to kind of press the legs back. Breathing here. Then inhale through center. We're going to exhale, drop the left shoulder, looking over the right shoulder. Breathing here. And then inhale, come to center. Lift back up into your goddess pose. Inhale, come up into your 5-point star. And then we're going to step to the top of the mat. And come into our Samasthiti prayer pose at the top of the mat. So just checking your feet are hip width apart. We're going to inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, hinging, folding forward from the hips. All the way down. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Come into your halfway lift. Back is nice and flat here. Exhale, lower down, press the palms down. Step the right foot back, then the left foot into your plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest and chin all the way down to the ground. We're going to inhale, come up into a cobra, so you can lift a bit higher this time. So inhale, lifting with the pelvis still on the mat, pressing through the tops of the feet. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, press up through your plank this time. And inhaling back into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. We're going to drop the knees and come into a child's pose. So just see what's comfortable for you here to have a rest. So if your knees are together, or you may find it more comfortable to have the knees out to the edges of the mat and sink the sit bones towards the heels that way. So just find what feels good, and if your forehead doesn't come onto the mat, that's fine also. You can bring your hands as a little pillow. So just find what's good in your child's pose. And then use this time to slow the breath, slow the heart rate. So if you need to connect back to your deep breathing, this is the best time. Inhale, expand the belly onto the thighs. And feel the back body expanding. The slower you make the breath, the more benefits you'll receive. Getting that fresh oxygen into the body. And then when you're ready, we're going to tuck the toes and come back up into our downward facing dog. So lifting the hips up high. So coming into our deep V shape here. Pressing away from the yoga mat. And then with an inhale, we're going to raise the right leg into a three-legged dog. And then we're going to split the dog. So we're going to stack the hips here, knee points up towards the ceiling, and we're trying to almost kick ourselves in the bottom. So trying to keep the weight evenly placed on both hands here, and breathing here. And then with an exhale, come back into a three-legged dog, so squaring the hips, and then exhale, bring that foot down. Find your position again if you've gone a bit wide or come forward a bit. Finding your down dog. And with an inhale, we're going to raise the left leg into our three-legged dog. And then we're going to split the dog again. So knee points up towards the ceiling, stacking the hips. Breathing here. And exhale, bringing the left leg back into our three-legged dog. And then exhale, bring both feet down. Bend through the knees here. And then with an inhale, we're going to raise the left leg into our three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee through to the nose. Step to the front of the mat. This time keeping both the legs in line. We're going to pivot the back foot 90 degrees. So the front heel is in line with the back arch of the foot. And we're going to inhale, come up into our warrior two. So we want to, we need to lengthen the pose, that's fine. So find your stable base, knees over front ankle. And then we're pressing into the outer edge of the back foot, coming into our warrior two. So just check that your knee isn't traveling inwards. We're pressing it gently out to the side. And breathing here. With an inhale, we're going to reach forward, flip the palm, and reverse the warrior. So gaze is to the top hand. Again, just check your knee isn't traveling in. And we want to lift and lengthen again. So make sure you're not collapsing into the lower back. Breathing here. And then inhale, come back to your warrior two. Breathing here with an exhale. Inhaling again. And then exhale, framing the front foot. Step back into your downward facing dog. And breathing here. With an inhale, we're going to raise the left leg into our three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee through to the nose. Step into the front. So finding our way there. Pivot the back foot 90 degrees. Legs are in one line. And we're going to inhale, rise up into our warrior two on the other side. So opening the hips to the long edge of the mat. Imagine someone's pulling your arms in opposite directions. And we're breathing here. With an inhale, we're going to reach forward, flip the palm, and reverse the warrior with an exhale. Again, reaching up and bending over towards the back of the mat. Gaze comes to the right hand. Breathing here. And then we're going to come back into our warrior two. Inhale here, holding. Exhale. Inhaling. And then exhaling, frame the front foot. And step back into your downward facing dog. And breathing here. With an inhale, we're going to ripple forward into a plank. Exhale, lower knees. Chest, chin all the way down to the mat. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lifting up into your cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, press up through your child's pose. And inhaling back into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. And making sure that you're stable in all four corners. We're going to bring the right hand just to grab hold of the outside of the left ankle. So just a little twisted dog here. So again, pressing away from the yoga mat with that left hand so we're not putting too much pressure in the wrist. And breathing here. And then placing that right hand back down, come back into your down dog with your hips lifting as high as you can. Find your stable base. And then with an inhale, we're going to grab the outside of the right shin with the left hand, breathing here. And then bringing your hand back down, coming back into your downward facing dog. And then we're going to inhale deeply and exhale, sticking the tongue out. We're going to do our lion's breath. So inhale deeply and exhale. Just releasing any tension here. Then with an inhale, we're going to bring the right leg into our three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee through to the nose, step to the front of the mat. So we're going to inhale, lift up into our high lunge. Exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. So we're going to come up into our warrior three here. So we want to kick off the back foot and come up to balance on the right leg. So when we're ready, we're going to come up into our warrior three. So you want to keep the hips square to the mat. Lift that back leg as high as you can. So we're trying to come into one long line. Try and keep the right leg straight and strong. And find one point of focus. So coming back to our meditation, stilling the mind helps in our balances. And then we're going to inhale, start to hinge the knee in towards the body. With one fluid movement if you can, if not, it's fine. And then bringing that knee into the chest, give it a hug and lower down. So coming to our balance now. So again, just a reminder that balances are 70% mental. It's all about concentration really. And it's not really about what the shape looks like, because each time it will be different. So it's about finding the right shape for you and then just focusing the mind. So we're coming to our dancer's pose. So we're going to shift the weight into the right foot. We're going to grab the outer edge of the left foot. And then we're going to inhale. I'm going to come back a little bit. We're going to inhale, reach the right arm alongside the ear. Then when you're ready with an exhale, we're going to hinge forward. So kicking the back foot into the back hand. And again, finding that point of focus. Just come to where is good for you. And if you fall, just come back in. Come do it as many times as you need. Breathing here. And then when you're ready, you can come out of the pose. Give the legs a little shake. And coming back to the front of the mat. So bringing the left knee into the chest, hands to prayer at heart center. We're going to flex the left foot. We're going to kick back with an exhale through our warrior three. So exhale, kicking back with control. Don't need to be fast here. Find your warrior three. Breathing here. And then step to the back of the mat. Inhale, rise up into your high lunge. Exhale, frame the front foot. And step back into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. Take any movements you need before you find your stillness. Then with an inhale, we're going to raise the left leg into our three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee through to the nose. Step to the front of the mat. That heel is lifted. We're going to inhale, rise up into our high lunge. Breathing here. Exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. So again, we're going to kick off the back foot coming into our warrior three. So getting ready here to spring. Inhale, coming up into your warrior three. Square the hips so you're not rolling over to the left side. Flexing the back foot keeps that back leg nice and strong. And try and come into one long line here. Breathing, finding that point of focus, noticing that this side might feel different. And then inhale. And bring the knee into the body. Give the knee a hug. And lower down. Oh, that side's harder for me. So just interesting to notice how different sides are different. And obviously each time we're working to keep them a bit more balanced. So we're at the top of the mat, ready to come into our dancer's pose on the other side. So this time we're going to bring the weight into the left leg. And then grab hold of the outer edge of the right foot. Inhale. I'm just going to come back a bit. So inhale. Reach your left arm alongside the ear. And then exhale, start to hinge forward. So again, noticing how this side might feel different. Just come to wherever is good for you. Find your pose, find your shape. Focus the mind and breathe. And then whenever you're ready, coming out of the pose. Shaking the legs. And then coming back to the top of the mat. So again, pressing the weight into the left foot, hands to prayer at heart center. Going to bring the right knee towards the chest, flexing the right foot. We're going to exhale, kick back through your warrior three. Hips are square and level. Breathing here, find your point of focus. And then exhale, stepping to the back of the mat. Whoop. Inhale, reach up into your high lunge. Exhale, framing the front foot. And step back into your downward facing dog. And breathing here. With an inhale, we're going to ripple forward into a plank. Yogi's choice, you can do knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. The chaturanga, we're going to gently shift the weight forward. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, lifting up. Tops of the feet are on the mat, looking up to the ceiling. Breathing here. Exhale, rolling over the toes. Inhaling up into your downward facing dog. And breathing here. With an inhale, we're going to look in between the hands. Walk the hands to the back of the mat. And come into our forward fold at the back of the mat. So here we're going to come into a standing twist. So just bending through the right knee. Bring the fingertips to touch the ground just underneath your face. So left leg is straight and we're going to inhale, reach up with the left arm. So breathing here. So again, we're not sinking down, we're reaching up. You can take the fingertips away, there's no weight there. And then exhale, coming down, swapping sides. We're going to bend through the left leg, right leg is straight. Inhale, reach up with the right arm, breathing here. So again, making sure that you're lifting and really straightening through that right leg. And then exhale, bringing that right hand down. And we're walking back into our downward facing dog. And breathing here. So with an inhale, we're going to raise the right leg into a three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee through to the nose, stepping to the front. We're going to twist the back foot 45 degrees and place it flat on the mat. We've got our legs in kind of train tracks here, so they're not in one long line. And we're going to come up into our warrior one. So pressing into the outer edge of the back foot. Knee is over the ankle at the front. And your hips are square to the front of the mat as much as you can. Then we're going to exhale, clasp the hands behind the back, open the chest. And exhale, we're going to drop down into our humble warrior. So the right shoulder comes on the inside of the right knee. And you're looking towards your big toe. And trying to press the hands over your head, wherever they come to. Breathing here. And then inhale, rise up into your warrior one. Exhale, framing the front foot. Step back into your downward facing dog. And breathe here. Then with an inhale, we're going to raise the left leg into our three-legged dog. Exhale, knee through to the nose. Step to the front. So pivot the back foot 45 degrees. Foot is flat on the mat. You're in train tracks. Hips are facing forward. Press into the outer edge of the back foot and rise up into your warrior one on the other side. So find your stable base here. Breathing here. And then we're going to clasp the hands behind the back. Open through the chest. And exhale, come down into your humble warrior. So knee and shoulder, it's sort of gently touching, but there's no pressure. You're not resting on the knee or the thigh. Gaze is to the front toe. Breathing here. It's a really strong hold, so you're doing really well. Then inhale, rising up into your warrior one. Exhale, frame the front foot and step back into your downward facing dog. And then with an exhale, drop the knees. We're going to come into a child's pose. So whatever felt good for you. I'm going to come into a wide leg child's pose this time. So knees to the outer edges of the mat, toes are touching. Or again, if that doesn't feel good on your ankles, you don't have to have the toes touching. And then press the sit bones towards the heels. And relax here. So coming back to the breath, slowing the breath down. Try not to breathe through the mouth because that actually elevates the heart rate and it doesn't calm the body at all. So always through the nose. You can get as much oxygen as you need. Feels good. You can also rock from side to side. Just see, listen to your body. What does it need right now? And with an inhale, just walk the hands in towards the body. I'm going to come to seated. So bringing the legs out in front, we're going to bring the left sole of the foot into the right thigh. We're going to flex through the right toes, twist over your right leg, and inhale, we're going to reach up, reaching out of the waist, and exhale, fold down into your Janu Sirsasana. So inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, drop the nose towards the knee. Each inhale lengthens. And each exhale, you can just sink a fraction deeper into the stretch. And then inhale, we're going to reach the hands all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, we're going to bring the left palm just behind the hip. Reach the right arm along the leg. We're going to come into our half wild thing lift. So we're going to sweep a big C shape with the arm up and over and come to rest on the shin. So just watch me if you're not sure, but otherwise we're going to inhale, sweeping up and over. So opening the chest towards the ceiling, gazes to the top hand. Breathing here. And then exhale, sweep your C shape all the way down. Bring the sole of the foot inside the knee, so the left sole of the foot. And then we're just going to hop it over the top of the knee, so it's on the other side. And bring those left fingertips on the ground again, but the fingertips are just touching this time. We're not resting here. And we're going to inhale, reach the right arm alongside the shoulder. Exhale, bring the elbow to the outside of the knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twisting to look over your left shoulder. Breathing here. Inhale back to center. Bring both legs out long. And then coming to the other side. So bringing the right sole of the foot into the left thigh. Flexing through the left toes. Twist to look over the left leg. Inhale, reaching high. Exhale, folding down. So going as far as is good for your body. Doesn't matter where you reach on your leg. It's really just about relaxing into the stretch. So we're going to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, relax and sink into the stretch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release down. And then we're going to inhale, reach the hands all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring the right palm just behind your hip. Reach the left arm along the leg. And we're going to sweep our big C shape up and overhead into our half wild thing. Inhale, sweep. Open through the chest, the whole front body. Should feel like a lovely overall total body stretch. Gazing to that top hand. Breathing here. And then exhale, sweeping back down the way we came in. And bringing the right sole of the foot inside the knee. And just hopping it over the leg. So flexing through those left toes. Bringing the right fingertips behind again, just gently placing them down. Inhale, reach up alongside your left ear. Exhale, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twisting to look over your right shoulder. Breathing here. Again, with each inhale, lengthen the spine. And with each inhale, deepen the twist. And inhaling back to center. We're going to come on to our backs now. So just lying down, bring your knees into your chest. And give yourself a hug here. Rocking from side to side, just massage the lower back. And then we're going to flex the feet and just point the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, coming to our happy baby. So you can grab the outer edges of the feet or the outer edges of the shin. Either way, we want the lower back mostly on the mat. So if you're really rocking up, then just bring the hands further down the legs. So kind of, again, listen to your body here. And gently press your knees towards your armpits. Opening out through the hips. And again, you can rock from side to side if that feels good. Massaging your spinal muscles. So just enjoying your happy baby here. And put a smile on your face. Helps to lift the mood. We're nearly there. We're happy. And releasing the legs down. We're going to come to our reclined pigeon. So bringing the right shin over the left thigh. And then we're going to thread the right arm through the gap in the thigh and clasp behind the left thigh. So bring your head and your shoulders back down, flexing through both feet. And we're going to gently pull the left thigh towards us and press the right knee away to the side. So breathing here. And then releasing both legs. We're coming to the other side. So bringing the left shin over the right thigh, thread the left arm through, clasp behind the right thigh, head down, shoulders down, both feet are flexed. Press the left knee away this time and just gently pull the right thigh in towards the body. So again, just as far as you can to feel that stretch, not too intense, but just releasing. And breathe here. We're still breathing our deep breath. We haven't relaxed just yet. And then then releasing down, bringing the knees back into the chest. And we're going to drop the arms into a cactus shape either side of the head. With an exhale, drop your knees over to the right. Gaze comes to the left hand. Breathing here. This time directing your breath down the length of your spine. Just noticing how your spine feels. And then inhale, knees through center. Exhale, dropping to the left side, gazes to the right hand. Breathing here. And then inhale your knees back to center. Bring your feet flat onto the mat. Knees are pointing up to the ceiling. And then we're just going to bring the soles of the feet together and drop the knees out to the side, coming to our supine Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly pose. So you can have one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And just release down here, breathing deeply. So still noticing the breath all the way down into the belly, pressing the hand away. And still not allowing any thoughts to come into the mind, even though we're in stillness. Bring the focus back to the breath. And you can stay here for your Shavasana if that's feeling really good, releasing through the hips. Or you can bring your legs out long, feet flopping out to the side, arms out to the side. And come into your Shavasana that way. So just again, listen to what's feeling good to you today. And now you can let go of that deep breathing. You can fully relax the breath. Relax the body, allowing the body to sink into the mat with each exhale, coming into the most important pose of the practice where we allow the body to take in the benefits of the movements, to rest and repair. And I invite you to take a body scan now. So starting with the crown of the head, noticing any sensations or feelings or how you're feeling. And just scanning down through the body. And as you reach each part of your body, if you notice any tension, inhaling into that area of tension and exhaling to release. finish your body scan, just coming back to the breath. Start to deepen your breath now. Start to bring some awareness back into your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Bring your arms overhead and give yourself a full body stretch. And then bringing your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug here. And then rolling over onto your right side. Just take a couple of breaths in the fetal position. And when you're ready, in your own time, just gently pressing yourself up to seated. And then when you've arrived, just sitting nice and tall, grounding through the sit bones, reaching the crown of the head tall and relaxing through the shoulders one last time. And bringing your hands to prayer at heart center. Just thank yourself for taking this time to practice. Move your body, connect with your breath and still your mind. No energy is ever wasted. And bring your thumbs to your third eye for wisdom. And we bow and say, Namaste.